In this presentation, we are going to give you a brief overview of the new CRM Advice Form, which highlights some of the new features and benefits. The Advice Form is the case recording part of the process within CRM, and as demonstrated in the Genesis and Answering a Contact presentation, is automatically generated when you accept a voice call, chat, or PIB from a child or young person. CRM will generate a unique number for every advice form, and it will always be prefixed with an A. If you pick up a voice call from switchboard or a PIB from the tagging queue, the same number that was allocated by CRM for the inquiry form will carry through to the advice form. Across the top of the form, you can see the business process bar, and there are a number of tabs for each process counsellors would need to fill in before you can move forward if an interaction is substantive. Service intended, facts, people and addresses, concerns and tags. The first section in the business process bar is the service intended, which includes the notepad and information tab. This section of the advice form will be visible to you at all times during an interaction. Here you will see a notepad where you can add notes as the interaction is progressing. For voice calls and PIBs, you may see some notes that have been brought forward from the inquiry form, which may provide you with relevant information about the caller. In the new contacts details, you will see any previous history for this particular caller to the service, as well as the total number of contacts to date and any outcome from the last interaction. You will also be able to view previous records for a young person through the contact details, and we will explore this more within the formal training. The service guidance is a new feature and benefit and is aimed to help support you in your role. Information displayed will be a combination of resources that can be given to callers, as well as links to best practice and external support networks. If we scroll down using the grey bar on the right, there are a number of mandatory tabs to complete, such as location, even if unknown. Was the confidentiality policy explained? Will the caller use Childline again? And are they more able to cope? There is also a section you can complete if you have given any resources to the caller, for example 999, or links to external resources. Another new feature is the supervisor request section. You will be able to record information where you have needed to involve a supervisor within the interaction. This will always need to be completed if you have alerted a supervisor to risk or requested support. In the training, you will have the opportunity to use this function and be given guidance on the type of information to capture. Once the interaction has ended, you need to complete the mandatory fields within the Notepad and Information section and complete the advice outcome at the top of the form as either substantive or insubstantive. Once you have completed the mandatory fields and recorded an advice outcome, you would click on Next Stage at the end of the process bar. If you have recorded a substantive interaction, the advice form will move on to the next stage, which will be the facts section. If you have recorded an insubstantive interaction, the advice form will be complete and disappear from your screen. You can then put yourself back on ready. You can now see that the facts section in the business process bar is orange. Below the process bar, the Notepad and Information tab has minimized and the Facts tab has opened up. The Facts section is where you write up the details of the interaction. In the first box, you would write up the facts around the call. In the second box, you would write up issues explored, options discussed, and any agreed actions. During the formal training, we will talk more about the types of information to be captured within these sections. Once you have written up the facts section, again, you will need to click on the Next Stage button, which will move you to the People and Addresses process. Once again, you can see that the People and Addresses section in the Business Process bar has now changed to orange. The Notepad and Information and the Facts tabs have been minimised, and the People and Addresses tab has opened up. It is within this section that you will be able to record any relevant personal information given by the child or young person contacting the service. For example, their age, name and address, ethnicity, sexuality, looked after child, etc. This is also where you would add information pertaining to a third party, other children involved, who they have told before, and the perpetrator. To add details to the People and Addresses section, click on the plus sign in the right-hand corner, which will then generate the New Person and Address activity box. You would now complete all the sections within the Person field by either typing in the relevant boxes or picking from a drop-down list. If the address is known, you would add this into the address fields. Any fields within the Person section that have a red asterisk are mandatory and must be completed, even if the information is unknown or not stated. Once completed, you would press Save and Close, and you will see that this information has been populated and is visible under the People and Addresses section on the advice form. To add more records, for example the perpetrator, you could either just click Save after you've completed the person role details and then click Perpetrator at the top of the screen. If you previously clicked Save and Close, you just need to press the plus button again to open a new person window. Once completed, you will see that the new person record has now been populated and is visible under the People and Addresses section. You would continue this process for all additional records you needed to add. And you can see from this example that we have added a new record on who the young person has told before. With the People and Addresses section finished, click on the Next Stage button, which will move you to the Concerns and Tags process. As with the previous processes, Concerns and Tags is now orange, and the previous tabs have all been minimised, with Concerns and Tags now open. In this section, you will be recording the main concern and relevant information such as duration, location, risk category, along with related sub-concerns and any additional related concerns. For this example, we have chosen emotional abuse as the main concern. There are drop-down lists to choose from for the duration, location and risk category fields. You will be able to assign multiple sub-concerns for the main category, and the choices available in the drop-down list will be relevant to the main concern. If you add any sub-concerns, you will be able to see these displayed below under related sub-concerns to the main concern. As with sub-concerns, you can add as many additional related concerns that a child or young person presents within the interaction. To add an additional concern, click on the plus icon and you can then either type the whole or part of the word in the box. Clicking on the magnifying icon will present you with a drop-down list of choices to choose from. Any additional related issues added will then be displayed below. The Tags, Websites and Apps section is where you can record information given by a child or a young person that would otherwise not be recorded elsewhere, but would be useful for the organisation from a reporting perspective. For example, they may mention that they are currently involved in a court case, engage in a sporting activity that has a positive impact on their self-esteem and confidence, or that they use Instagram. The process for adding tags is the same as adding additional related issues and will also be displayed below. On completion of the Concerns and Tags section, you again click Next Stage, which will then close down the advice form and you can put yourselves on ready for the next interaction. The advice form will be sent to the shift supervisor dashboard, awaiting their sign-off. During the training, you will be taking interactions from all channels in order to work through and complete an advice form. You will also learn more about how to access a young person's account, view any case management information, as well as getting familiar with using lookups and building up a young person's profile within the people and addresses process. We welcome any feedback you may have that would help us to improve and develop this training presentation for the future. You can do this by emailing the Doing More for Children project team on the following email address: